Hey folks, Wiz here with a brief for tomorrow's primary live trade brief. A lot of stuff going on in the market. Huge week last week. Triple digit up, triple digit down, sideways. We have a huge week as well this week, and it's going to be an awesome week here at Top Gun Options. Just sent out a primary trade alert on Google and Iron Condor for May, so make sure you check your email or your cell phones for those. But big week this week. We had retail numbers come out. Retail sales came out that put a smile on the market's face. Citigroup also reported earnings. Like we talked about, all financials are not created equal. Citigroup, Wells Fargo, they all have mortgage. They have mom and pop and Wall Street or Main Street hanging over them. Goldman Sachs, all they care about is Wall Street and their trading operations and their investment banking. So tomorrow is Goldman Sachs earnings. Obviously, that's going to be a big one for us. But housing starts are also released tomorrow. So we're going to talk about that as well. And the number is expected to come down a little bit. How much down remains to be seen. American Express comes out with earnings on Wednesday, as does Yum Brands. And Yum's into a lot of stuff. I'd take a look at Yum. Thursday, jobless claims, existing home sales for March, and Bank of America earnings. And finally, Friday, we got McDonald's earnings coming out as well. Why is this all important to us? Well, guess what, folks? We hold a couple of these positions. Bank of America comes out with earnings. I don't think even if they blow the doors off of it, our short call is in danger. We'll cover that tomorrow. But we're also going to cover this Google Iron Condor. If you all didn't close it in your model portfolio or your virtual or paper trading account when it was up 92%, don't worry about it, and we'll talk about why. And mainly it's in that Iron Condor that I just sent out. So we'll review all of these open positions. We're going to talk a lot about volatility because, especially with the market being up right now, 101 points, we're going to take a nice look at volatility here. So we're going to review our existing positions. We're going to talk about all the big events that are on tap for this week, and we're also going to look at adding a potential trade or two to our primary model portfolio, which is doing really good. And you can see anything with an X right here means obviously we got expiration in less than 7 days. I don't know why it's not showing up for Goldman Sachs or Bank of America, but we have options obviously expiring in those, and Google as well. So make sure you scroll down, click the link to enter the live trade brief for tomorrow, and I will see you all bright and early 0900 tomorrow morning. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. Hey, Matt Buckley, call sign Wiz, the primary model portfolio manager here at Top Gun Options. Want to get out a trade alert on somebody who's just taken a beating lately, and that's Google. They're taking a beating for good reason, but I also think they're going to own the world someday. So let's go ahead and get started. Folks, I'm going to be using our TradeMonster platform. You can open a free paper trading account at trademonster.com/TGO. You can obviously use any paper trading account with any broker, but we use TradeMonster obviously here at Top Gun Options because just great tool, especially for options traders. So let's go ahead and get started here. Google. What is the story with Google recently? And again, today it's just taken an absolute beating, down 2.5%, but off its lows of today. What happened? Well, last week, after the close on Thursday, they came out with earnings. And earnings, $9.65 was forecast, the consensus, and they ended up hitting $10.08. So they beat on earnings per share, and the revenue was in line. Consensus was about $8.15 billion. They ended up somewhere around there, give or take a couple $100,000. They can find that in their couch. But more importantly, as part of this earnings event, they announced a 2-for-1 stock split. Now, after hours, that really confused the heck out of the market, digesting it. The companies splitting the stock is mainly for retail traders to feel good about buying it. Instead of a $608 stock, hey, how about a $304 stock? If you're not that smart, that might make sense to you. But if you're smart, you know that a stock split really, it's supposed to help the shareholders out, but it doesn't necessarily. More importantly, the stock they're going to, it's non-voting right stock. So I can already see the attorneys lining up outside to take cases, shareholder lawsuit cases. And there are a lot of large institutional owners of Google. So it's gotten beaten up pretty heavily based on the news of that stock split. So let's take a look at what's going on today. open our radar a little bit to 3 minutes, not tick by tick to 1 minute there, but kind of hit a bottom there, and I think people are starting to realize that, okay, the dust is starting to settle from Google, and it's, we expect some chop ahead, but it's not going out of business, and overall they still had good news on clicks and a bunch of other stuff. So haven't plumbed the 550 depths in a while, and certainly aren't going to be plumbing the 670 depths for a long time, let alone back up here. It's pre-earnings high of about 655-ish. So, and our bias, our strategic mindset, like I said, we know Google's going to take over the world, and they're obviously not going out of business. Two tactics you could potentially use with Google, and that is a diagonal. We could buy a deep in the money 80 delta call, like we've done with a couple of our other positions, and sell upside front month calls because they are going to be under pressure in the short term with either lawsuits or figuring out when the dust settles. Or if we want a shorter term tactic, we could look at an iron condor. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's take a look at a May iron condor. They came out with earnings. They're not going to have earnings again, obviously, until around June. So let's take a look at a couple of the goalposts I set up here. Our bias is towards the downside. So our upper bear call spread, the upper part of what makes an iron condor, is a bear call spread. So I'm going to create a spread here. I'll just click custom spread because it's a little quicker for me. So let's build the bear call spread part of this. I want to sell the 640s, and I add a call, and I want to buy. And just let's Kentucky windage based on our never risking more than 5% on any one position of our $100,000 model portfolio. I'm thinking about 15 strikes there. So let's make sure they're both May. So there's our bear call spread. That is the top of the iron condor. Now we need to add a bull put spread, and just based on doing some research and some Kentucky windage, let's buy the 560s in our model portfolios or our paper trading accounts and sell, add a put, and sell. The short strike will be 565, and again, these need to be May, or you get the funky looking Egyptian symbols over there on the right. 565. So there is our iron condor. Let's go ahead and see what the mid market on this is, about $1.65. Let's create an order. Let's throw that 165 in there, and yep, okay, that's kind of mid market. Now let's analyze and make sure. Let's take a look at everything here. We're good to go. Look at that, boom, right at $5,000, which is our max risk. 32%, 33% chance of that happening, and again, I'm saying that's to the downside, and then 61% probability of keeping that max credit that we take in, the 24,775 at $1.65 by 15 contracts. So, and the risk to reward is about 1 to 0.5. Again, happy with this. Next earnings is until after expiration, so nothing really to look out for. Expiration is 5/19, so nothing really standing out too big on the radar. Like I said, if anything, I'm going to create this order and get this into our model portfolio. Again, folks, make all trades in a paper trading account as we do at Top Gun Options. Make sure you're talking to a registered investment advisor or broker dealer before you place any trade, and never trade with money you can't afford to lose, folks, obviously. And we beat the table here at Top Gun Options about that. You got to get in the simulator and learn before you can go out and put any real capital at risk. So there we go. Just fired that one off. The current Google trade in our model portfolio, you see the little X there? That means it expires. Expiration, like it just popped up. Expiration is less than 7 days away. It was a 93% winner after earnings, but it's gotten even more hammered on the way down. But folks, keep your powder dry on this one in your model portfolio, because I think it's found a bottom, and we still have an 86% chance of capturing that full credit of $2,100. So there you go. Newest addition to our model portfolio is the Google 560, 565, 640, 645 iron condor. I'll see everybody tomorrow morning in the primary live trade brief at 0900. Happy hunting, and make sure you hedge.